The Strange Awakening. The room was silent except for the soft hum of the city outside. Neon lights leaked through the thin curtains, painting the walls in pale blue. It was supposed to be an ordinary morning, just another day in a small apartment in a forgotten corner of the colony. But when John opened his eyes, he knew something was wrong. There was someone in his bed. At first, he thought it was a dream. His mind tried to explain it away. Maybe he was still half asleep. Maybe his tired brain was playing tricks. But when he blinked, the figure beside him was still there. A woman. She lay quietly, her back against the pillow as if she had always belonged there. Her long dark hair spilled across the sheets. Her breathing was steady, calm. She did not look like an intruder. She did not even look surprised. She looked patient. John froze. His chest grew tight. He had no memory of bringing her here. No drinks the night before. No strangers, no dates. He had lived alone for years, and he liked it that way. So how was this possible? He swallowed hard and whispered, "Who are you?" The woman slowly turned her head toward him. Her eyes opened, and in that instant he felt a chill race down his spine. Her eyes were not normal. They glowed faintly like two small stars hiding behind a human face. She looked at him, and a faint smile touched her lips. "You're awake," she said softly, almost like she had been waiting. "Good, we don't have much time." John sat up, heart racing. "What are you doing here? How did you get into my apartment?" She did not answer right away. Instead, she studied him like she was making sure he was real. Then she leaned closer and whispered, "You are not supposed to be here, but you are the key." The words made no sense. John shook his head. "The key to what?" The woman didn't reply. She looked calm, but there was a strange sadness in her expression. "You don't remember me," she said quietly. "You don't remember anything." John's pulse quickened. He backed away, nearly falling out of bed. "Listen, I don't know who you are, but you need to leave. Right now." She did not move. Instead, she closed her eyes for a moment as if gathering her thoughts. Then she said something that made his blood run cold. "They are watching you." The words were simple but heavy. John felt his skin crawl. Who's watching me?" The woman reached into the folds of her jacket and pulled out a small metallic device. It looked like nothing John had ever seen. Smooth silver, glowing faintly at the edges. She placed it on the blanket between them. "Proof," she said. Before he could speak, the device lit up. A wave of blue light filled the room. Strange patterns danced across the ceiling, lines and symbols that moved like living fire. John's apartment was no longer just a room. It felt like he was inside some kind of machine. What is this?" he whispered. Her eyes glowed brighter. "This is their signal. They track you every day. Every move you make, every thought you think. You are not free, John. You never were." John stared at her, his mouth dry. He wanted to deny it, to laugh, to call her insane. But deep down, a small part of him knew something was wrong. He had always felt watched. He had always felt like his life was too ordinary, too controlled, like a script written by someone else, and now, this stranger was confirming it. "I don't believe you," he said, but his voice trembled. She tilted her head. "You will soon." John's hands shook as he reached for the device. The moment his fingers touched it, his vision blurred. Flashes of light struck his mind. For a heartbeat, he saw something impossible. Himself, but different. He wore a uniform. He held a weapon. He was standing on a battlefield beneath an alien sky, and then it was gone. John gasped and dropped the device. His chest heaved, his eyes wide with terror.
"What was that?"
"What did you show me?" The woman leaned closer, her voice low and steady. "The truth." John stared at her, struggling to breathe. His world, his safe little life, was crumbling before his eyes. A stranger had appeared in his bed, and in a matter of minutes she had torn open a door to something far greater, far darker than anything he could imagine. She placed a hand on his arm, gentle but firm. "You need to listen to me. Your life is about to change. Everything you thought you knew is a lie." Outside, the city buzzed with its usual sound, but inside that room the silence was heavier than ever. John could feel it now. Something watching, something closing in. And for the first time he wished he had never opened his eyes that morning. The warning, John could not move. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, and the strange blue light from the device still flickered in his eyes. The woman sat calmly as if she had not just broken every rule of his reality. He wanted to shout, to push her out, to pretend this never happened. But something deep inside told him there was no going back. "Tell me what you want," John whispered, his voice sharp. The woman leaned forward, her glowing eyes steady. "I came here to warn you. They know you are awake now. They will not let you live in peace." "Who are they?" John demanded. "You keep saying they, but you're not telling me anything. Who is watching me? The government? Spies? Aliens?" Her lips curved into a faint, bitter smile. "All of them. And none of them. You are part of something larger, John. Something hidden from you since the day you were born." John shook his head. "That doesn't make sense. I'm nobody. I work a simple job. I live alone. I don't matter to anyone." "You matter more than you know," she said softly. "That is why they erased your memories. That is why they hid you in this false life." John's stomach turned. He remembered the flashes, the battlefield, the uniform, the alien sky. They had felt so real, more real than his so-called memories of daily routine. "Why me?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Why not someone else?" The woman's expression grew serious. "Because inside you is something they fear, something they cannot control. And if you discover it, their world will collapse." John stared at her, his mouth dry. "What are you talking about?" She reached out and touched his arm again, her hand cold but firm. "Listen carefully. You have to trust me. Tonight they will come for you. The ones who erased your mind, the ones who built this false life. If you stay here, you will disappear, just like before." A chill ran through John's body. He tried to laugh it off, but it came out hollow. "Disappear? You mean kill me?" Her glowing eyes narrowed. "Worse. They will rewrite you again. Erase everything. You will wake up in another bed, in another city, with another false story, and you will never know who you are." John's breath caught in his throat. His skin crawled. "How do you know all this?" "Because I was there," she said simply. "I saw what they did to you, and I swore I would stop them." Her words carried no hesitation, no doubt. She spoke like someone who had lived through it, someone who had scars to prove it. John rubbed his temples, his mind spinning. "Why now? Why tell me this today?" She looked at the clock on the wall. The red digits glowed in the darkroom. "Because time has run out. The signal has already changed. They know I found you. They know you touched the device." As if on cue, a low hum filled the apartment. John froze. The sound was faint at first, like the buzz of distant machines, but it grew stronger, closer, vibrating through the walls. "What is that?" he whispered. The woman stood up, her movements calm but sharp, like a soldier preparing for battle. "It is them, drones, scouts. They are searching for you right now." John's panic flared. "I can't fight drones. I don't even own a weapon." She turned to him, her glowing eyes fierce. "You don't need a weapon. You are the weapon." Her words struck him like lightning. He wanted to argue, to deny it, but deep inside something stirred. A memory? A forgotten instinct? He wasn't sure. The humming outside grew louder. Lights flickered through the curtains, red, scanning beams sweeping across the building. "They're here," she said quietly. John stood frozen. His body screamed to hide, but his mind screamed to run. He looked at her. "What do I do?" She handed him the silver device. Its surface pulsed with faint light, almost like it was alive. "Keep this with you. It will help you remember. And when you remember, they won't be able to control you anymore." John clutched the device in shaking hands. "Remember what?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "The war. The truth. Who you really are." Before John could reply, the window exploded with a sharp crack. A red beam slashed across the room, burning through the wall. Smoke and sparks filled the air. John hit the floor, coughing, heart hammering. Through the smoke, he saw dark shapes moving outside, mechanical shadows crawling along the walls, their red eyes scanning the room. The woman pulled him up. "No time, you have to choose now. Stay and die in their cage. Or leave with me and face the truth." John stared at the broken window, at the red beams cutting across his home, and felt the weight of her words crush him. He had no answers. Only fear, but something inside him whispered, "She's right. This is only the beginning." And in that moment, as the walls shook and the drones closed in, John made his choice. The hidden truth. The night air burned cold against John's skin as he stumbled into the alley. Smoke rose behind him from the shattered window of his apartment. Red beams cut through the dark, scanning every corner, hunting him. Beside him, the strange woman moved quickly, her steps light, precise, like a soldier who had done this many times before. She didn't look afraid. She looked ready. John, on the other hand, could barely breathe. His mind spun. His legs felt weak. Only the small device in his hand gave him the strength to keep moving. It pulsed softly like a heartbeat, as if it was alive. "Where are we going?" John gasped. "Somewhere safe," she answered, her glowing eyes scanning the shadows. "You need answers. And you need them now." They slipped through narrow alleys, moving deeper into the city's underbelly. Neon signs flickered overhead. Distant sirens wailed, but none dared come near the hunters. The air smelled of rust, smoke, and danger. Finally, she led him into an abandoned building. The doors shut with a metallic groan, sealing out the noise of the drones. Inside it was dark, except for the faint glow of her eyes and the steady pulse of the device in John's hand. For a long moment, silence filled the room. John dropped onto a broken chair, his chest heaving. He looked at her, anger and fear mixing in his eyes. "Enough," he said, his voice sharp. "You keep saying I'm important. You keep saying I'm the key. But I don't understand any of it. Tell me the truth." "All of it," the woman studied him. Her calm face was unreadable, but there was a weight in her eyes, a burden she carried. "You want the truth?" she said at last. "Then you must see it for yourself." She took the device from his hand and pressed it against his chest. At once, a surge of light shot through him. His vision blurred. His body trembled. And then, he was somewhere else. The chair, the room, the woman, all vanished. He stood on a battlefield. The ground was blackened and torn. The sky burned with fire. Strange ships floated above, their shapes monstrous and alien. John looked down. His hands were not empty. He held a weapon, sleek silver, humming with energy. His arms were covered in heavy armor. His chest bore an insignia he didn't recognize, a rising star surrounded by wings. He wasn't alone. Around him, soldiers fought. Not ordinary soldiers, humans with strange implants, humans who moved faster, stronger, almost like machines. Their enemies were worse, towering alien figures with glowing skin and faces like twisted masks. And in the middle of it all, John himself. He saw his own face, older, harder, filled with fire. He was shouting commands, leading the charge. He fought like a storm, tearing through enemies with fury no ordinary man could hold. The vision ended in a flash. John fell back into the chair, gasping, sweat pouring down his face. His hands shook violently. That wasn't me. That can't be me." The woman's voice was calm but strong. "It was you. Before they erased you." John shook his head. "No, I'm not a soldier. I'm just..." His words failed. Deep inside, he knew the truth. The way the weapon had felt in his hands, the way his body had moved in the vision. It wasn't strange. It was familiar. "You were their greatest weapon," she said. "The human they could not control. A leader who could inspire others to rise. That's why they wiped you. That's why they hid you." John's chest tightened. "Who are they?" Her eyes glowed brighter. "A council of machines and men. A hidden alliance that rules this colony. They fear what you are because you carry something inside you they cannot replicate." John's breath caught. "What do you mean, inside me?" She leaned closer, her voice a whisper. "Your blood is not ordinary. It carries a code, a bridge between human and alien. You are living proof that the two can become one. If the world learns this truth, the war will end. But their power will vanish." John's heart raced. He couldn't believe it. He didn't want to believe it, and yet every word sank deep into him like fire. He looked down at the device still pulsing in his hand. "And you? Who are you really?" For the first time, her voice trembled. "I am one of them. Not fully human, not fully alien. My people live in the shadows, protecting what remains of hope. I was sent to find you, to bring you back before it's too late." John stared at her, his mind breaking under the weight of the truth. His whole life had been a lie. His memories, his identity, his very sense of self, all stolen, rewritten. But one thing was clear. He was not nobody. He was not ordinary. He was something far greater. Before he could speak, the walls of the building shuddered. A low boom echoed outside. Dust fell from the ceiling. The woman's eyes hardened. "They found us." John gripped the device tightly, his fear boiling into something new. Not just terror, not just confusion. Something stronger. Rage. For the first time, he wanted to fight. The revelation. The ground shook beneath their feet as the building trembled. Dust rained down from cracked beams. Outside, heavy machines groaned and echoed like thunder. John rose from the chair, clutching the pulsing device in his hand. His fear had not vanished, but it had changed shape. It no longer froze him. It burned inside him, sharp and hot, ready to explode. The woman stood tall, her glowing eyes narrowing as the rumble grew louder. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a sleek black weapon, unlike anything John had ever seen. It hummed with quiet power, alive with energy. "They are here for you," she said, "but they will not stop until the truth dies with you." John's fist clenched. His voice shook, but it was steady enough. "You keep saying truth. You keep saying I'm the key. I saw flashes, yes, but I still don't understand. What do they want from me? What am I really?" The woman turned toward him. Her expression was hard, but there was pain in her voice. "You are the bridge, John, between two races that were never meant to meet. That is why they fear you." John's breath caught. "Bridge, what does that even mean?" She stepped closer. "Your blood is not just human. Long ago during the war, they experimented with captured alien DNA. Most test subjects died. Some became monsters. But you survived. You became something new. Human but more, stronger, faster, and something they could never control." John froze. The room seemed to tilt. "You're telling me I'm not human?" "You are human," she said quickly. "But you are also more than human. And that makes you dangerous to them. Because if humanity learns that it can evolve, if they discover that peace with the other side is possible through you, the war will end. Their power will crumble." John stared at her, his mind spiraling. All his life he had believed he was ordinary. A face in the crowd. A man who worked, ate, slept, repeated. Nothing special. And now this stranger was telling him he was the most dangerous person alive. Outside, a crash shook the building. Metal claws tore through the walls. Red beams sliced across the darkness. The woman raised her weapon. "It is time you see what they are." The wall split open and something crawled through the smoke. At first it looked like a man in armor. But as the smoke cleared, John saw the truth. The figure was machine and flesh, twisted together. A soldier with metal skin, eyes glowing red, voice buzzing like static. It was neither man nor machine, it was both. "They call them Watchers," she said. "Half human, half machine. They're loyal slaves. This is what they want to turn you into. A puppet, a weapon they can control." The Watcher moved forward, its claws scraping the floor, sparks flying with every step. John felt his body stiffen, his breath catch, but the woman's voice cut through his fear. "Remember what you saw in the visions. You were a soldier once. The instincts are still inside you. Use them." John's grip tightened on the device. The pulsing glow spread into his hand, his arm, his chest. Heat filled him, a burning fire that made his skin crawl. For a moment he thought he would collapse. Then it surged through him like lightning. The Watcher lunged. Without thinking, John moved. His body twisted with speed he didn't know he had. He grabbed a broken metal pipe from the ground and swung it. The strike landed hard, sending the half-machine creature crashing into the wall. The woman's eyes widened, but she smiled. "Yes, you see now. You are not helpless." John stood over the fallen Watcher, chest heaving, his mind torn between shock and rage. He had moved faster, hit harder than any normal man could. It hadn't been luck. It had been instinct, deep, buried, but real. The creature rose again, sparks flying from its broken armor. More shadows appeared at the shattered wall. Red eyes glowed in the dark. Dozens of Watchers crawling closer. John's stomach twisted. There are too many. "We'll never get out." The woman stepped beside him, weapon glowing bright. "That is why you must choose, to run or to rise." John stared at her. "Rise against this? Against all of them?" Her voice was sharp, filled with fire. "Yes, because you are not just a man. You are proof that humanity cannot be broken. You are the one who can unite what they tried to keep apart. If you fight, others will follow. If you fall, everything will fall with you." Her words cut deep. He looked at the swarm of glowing eyes closing in. He felt the fire in his blood, the strength in his veins, the rage boiling inside him. For the first time, he saw himself not as a victim, but as something else, something greater. John raised the pulsing device high. The light spread, brighter than before, flooding the room. The Watchers froze, their red eyes flickering. The woman's voice echoed in the glow. "This is your beginning, John, your truth. You are the bridge that will decide the fate of two worlds." The walls shook again. The watchers roared, and in that moment John made his choice. The room shook as the watchers closed in. Red eyes flickered in the smoke. Their metallic claws scraped the broken walls, and their voices buzzed with static whispers. John stood in the middle of it all, the silver device glowing in his hand. Its light pulsed brighter, matching the rhythm of his own heartbeat. His chest burned, his blood felt like fire, and his mind roared with a storm of memories. For the first time, he did not feel like prey. He felt like a storm waiting to break. The woman's voice was sharp, urgent. "John, listen to me. They won't stop. Not tonight, not ever. This is what they were built for." "They were built to erase you." John's jaw tightened. His fear was still there, but it no longer owned him. "And what if I erase them?" Her glowing eyes widened. For the first time, she looked surprised. Then she smiled, fierce and proud. "Then you will be what they always feared." The watchers lunged. The room exploded into chaos. Sparks flew as the woman's weapon lit up, beams of energy cutting through the swarm. The air filled with smoke and fire. One watcher after another fell, but more climbed through the walls. Their numbers seemed endless. John gripped the device tighter. Its light spread across his skin, crawling like living fire. The heat seared him, but he didn't let go. Instead, he raised it high, and with a roar, a blast of energy surged outward. The walls shook. The watchers staggered. Their red eyes flickered, their voices scrambled. Some collapsed instantly, sparks bursting from their bodies. John dropped to one knee, gasping, the device smoking in his hand. What did I just do?" The woman knelt beside him. "You are unlocking yourself, piece by piece. This is only the beginning." But John's victory was short-lived. From the smoke, a new figure stepped forward. Taller, stronger. Its body gleamed with black armor fused into pale flesh. Its eyes were not red, they were pure white, glowing with cold fire. The other watchers froze, bowing their heads. The woman's face darkened. "An overseer." The creature's voice thundered, deep and mechanical. "Subject 17, you should not exist. Return to containment." John's blood ran cold. "Subject 17?" The woman's grip tightened on his arm. "That's what they called you in the labs. That's what you were before they erased your name. You are not Subject 17 anymore. You are John, remember that." The overseer stepped closer, its heavy steps shaking the floor. "You are property. You are weapon. You are ours." Rage boiled in John's chest. For so long he had believed he was nobody. A man who didn't matter. Now he saw the truth. He had been stolen, erased, turned into a number. And these creatures thought they could claim him again. Not anymore. He rose to his feet, lifting the device. His voice cut through the smoke. "I am not yours. Not anymore." The overseer tilted its head. "Then you will die." The air grew heavy. The remaining watchers spread out, surrounding him and the woman. The overseer's white eyes burned brighter. The woman leaned close, her voice low but urgent. "This is the moment, John. You can run and you will spend the rest of your life hunted. Or you can fight and change everything." John's chest heaved. Sweat poured down his face. His hands trembled, not with fear but with power. He looked at the watchers, at the overseer, at the woman who had risked everything to find him. He thought of the visions, the battlefield, the soldiers who had followed him, the war he had once fought. He thought of the millions of lives trapped under the council's shadow, living false lives, never knowing the truth. And he thought of himself. Not Subject 17, not a puppet, not a victim. John, his choice was clear. He raised the device high. Its glow became blinding, filling the ruined building with white fire. The watchers recoiled, hissing. The overseer stepped back, shielding its eyes. The woman shouted over the roar of the light. "What are you doing?" John's voice was steady, filled with fire. "Taking back my life." The light exploded outward. The building shook, windows shattered, the ground split beneath them. The watchers screamed as their red eyes went dark. The overseer roared, its voice breaking into static. The woman shielded her face, her glowing eyes wide with shock, and then silence. Smoke filled the air. The world outside was gone, hidden by the white glow. John stood tall in the middle of it, his eyes blazing with light, the device melting into his skin. He was no longer holding it. He was it. The overseer's broken voice echoed through the smoke. "Impossible." He awakened. John turned his glowing eyes toward the enemy. And for the first time, he didn't feel afraid. He felt unstoppable. The woman's whisper reached him. "You have no idea what you just became." John looked at her, his voice calm, his choice made. "Then let's find out." The silence shattered as the overseer charged, and the war for the future of humanity began.